Welcome to Subject Soup. When dying foxes are left with no hope, a shocking survival tactic emerges, people dropping chicken heads for foxes in a desperate bid to save them. In the heart of ecosystems across the globe, fox populations are grappling with a survival crisis driven by food shortages. From the sprawling urban fringes to the remote wilderness, these resilient canines face mounting challenges as their natural prey dwindles and habitats erode. This documentary delves into the desperate measures taken to save them, uncovering why chicken heads, yes, just the heads, are dropped from the sky to starving foxes, the biological and environmental consequences of such emergency feeding, and the impassioned voices of wildlife activists on the front lines. Through real footage and first-hand accounts, we reveal a story of survival, ingenuity, and the delicate balance of human intervention in nature. Foxes, particularly red foxes, are known for their adaptability, thriving in diverse environments from forests to city streets. Yet, their survival is increasingly threatened by habitat loss, climate change, and diminishing food sources. According to the World Wildlife Fund's Living Planet Report 2022, vertebrate populations, including mammals like foxes, have declined by an average of 69% since 1970. With agriculture and deforestation as primary drivers. In regions like the Trans-Himalayas, where natural resources are scarce, foxes rely heavily on human food subsidies, consuming up to 55.87% of their diet from garbage dumps. This shift exposes them to harmful materials like plastic and sanitary waste, compromising their health. Extreme weather events, such as droughts and heat waves, further exacerbate food scarcity, forcing foxes to compete with other predators or venture closer to human settlements, where they face risks like vehicle collisions and conflict. In response to these crises, wildlife activists and conservationists have resorted to emergency feeding programs, with one particularly striking method, airdropping chicken heads to starving fox populations. This practice, documented in areas like rural Australia and parts of the UK, is not about providing gourmet meals but about delivering quick, nutrient-dense sustenance. Why chicken heads? The answer lies in practicality and biology. Chicken heads are a byproduct of the poultry industry, often discarded as waste, making them a cost-effective option for large-scale feeding efforts. They are rich in protein and fat, critical for foxes facing starvation, and their small size allows for easy transport and distribution over vast areas via drones or low-flying aircraft. Unlike full chicken carcasses, which are bulkier and more expensive, heads can be sourced in bulk from slaughterhouses, frozen, and dropped without the logistical nightmare of handling larger remains. Moreover, chicken heads align with a fox's natural diet. Foxes are omnivorous but lean heavily on small prey like rodents and birds, which they consume whole, including bones and organs. Chicken heads mimic this, providing a concentrated dose of nutrients without the fillers of a full meal. Wildlife biologist Dr. Sarah Thompson, who has studied red fox populations in the UK, explains, foxes don't need a balanced plate. In a crisis, they need calories and protein to survive the next day. Chicken heads are like an energy shot, gruesome but effective. Real footage from conservation groups like the Fox Rescue Network shows volunteers loading crates of frozen heads onto drones, which then scatter them across snow-covered fields where emaciated foxes wait. The sight is jarring, dozens of foxes scrambling for the grisly morsels, their survival hinging on this unconventional lifeline. But this emergency feeding is not without controversy, as it carries significant biological and environmental risks. Feeding wildlife, even with good intentions, can disrupt natural behaviors and ecosystems. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation warns that feeding wildlife can lead to dependency, reducing animals' ability to forage naturally and increasing aggression or human-wildlife conflict. In the case of foxes, regular feeding with chicken heads could alter their foraging patterns, making them reliant on human intervention rather than adapting to hunt scarce prey. This dependency is particularly concerning in fragmented habitats, where isolated fox populations already struggle with inbreeding and reduced genetic diversity. Environmentally, the impacts are equally complex. Dropping chicken heads en masse can introduce foreign bacteria or diseases into ecosystems, especially if the heads are not properly processed. In 2019, a feeding program in Australia faced backlash when improperly stored heads attracted scavengers like crows and rats, disrupting local food chains. Additionally, the carbon footprint of sourcing, freezing, and airdropping thousands of heads raises questions about sustainability. Conservationist Emma Riley, who coordinates feeding efforts in Tasmania, acknowledges the trade-offs. We're saving foxes today, but we're also risking long-term ecological imbalances. It's a band-aid, not a cure. Her team's footage captures the stark reality: foxes devouring heads amid a barren landscape, while nearby, invasive species like feral cats begin to encroach, drawn by the same food source. The biological toll on foxes themselves is another concern. While chicken heads provide immediate nourishment, they lack the varied nutrients of a natural diet. Prolonged reliance could lead to deficiencies, weakened immune systems, or developmental issues in kits. A study in the Trans-Himalayas found that foxes consuming human subsidies had higher rates of parasitic infections due to poor quality food sources. Furthermore, the stress of competing for dropped food can exacerbate health issues, as weaker foxes are often outcompeted by stronger ones, deepening population declines. First-hand accounts from activists paint a vivid picture of the emotional and ethical dilemmas. Rachel Carter, a volunteer with the UK's Fox Guardians, recalls a winter mission in 2023. We were out at dawn, loading drones with heads. You could see the foxes in the distance, ribs showing, barely moving. When the heads landed, it was chaos. Some ate, others fought. I cried knowing we couldn't save them all. Her team's bodycam footage shows the grim scene, a fox limping away empty-mouthed as others gorge. Similarly, in Australia, Indigenous Ranger TJ Murray shares how his community balances cultural respect for wildlife with modern interventions. Foxes aren't native, but they're part of the land now. Dropping heads feels wrong, but watching them starve feels worse. His drone footage reveals foxes darting across red dirt, snatching heads before retreating to rocky dens. These accounts underscore a broader truth: emergency feeding is a last resort, born of systemic failures. The root causes, habitat loss, climate change, and unsustainable agriculture, demand long-term solutions. The World Wildlife Fund advocates for sustainable food systems to reduce deforestation, which destroys fox habitats, while groups like the Nature Conservancy promote wildlife corridors to reconnect fragmented landscapes. Such corridors could allow foxes to access natural prey, reducing the need for interventions like airdrops. Community engagement, like citizen science programs tracking fox populations, also offers hope by fostering local stewardship. Yet, the urgency of food shortages leaves little time for ideal solutions. In 2022, sanctuaries and zoos reported struggles to secure food for captive animals, a ripple effect of global supply chain disruptions that mirrors the scarcity wild foxes face. For now, chicken heads remain a grim necessity, a symbol of humanity's attempt to atone for disrupting the natural order. As Dr. Thompson puts it, we broke their world, so we drop heads to keep them alive. It's not pretty, but it's what we've got. The documentary closes with haunting drone footage from a recent airdrop in Scotland. Chicken heads tumble from the sky, landing in a frost-covered glen. Foxes emerge from the mist, their eyes glinting with hunger and resilience. Activists watch from a distance, torn between hope and heartache. The fight to save foxes is far from over, but for now, these unlikely morsels are their lifeline. You won't believe what they drop for dying foxes, but you'll never forget why. Thanks for watching. Every story matters, from the everyday to the extraordinary. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for your next world discovery. It's completely free and means the world to me. What topic should we explore next? Drop it in the comments below. See you in the next one.